أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great and been practicing the musanna derivatives that we practiced earlier. Now in this lesson we have jumped to the Jama Salim, alright, which is the more than two plural. So I hope before beginning this lesson that you have watched the lesson 8A, B, and C, alright, because it would be easier for you to follow. So if you haven't, I would really encourage you to go back and watch those three lessons, alright, so that you can grasp the concepts in this lesson easy way, inshallah. Before beginning our Jama Salim for the masculine asma, we are going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us out and to make these concepts easier for us to teach as well as to learn. So Rabbi Yasir, Wala Tu'asir, Wa Tammim Bil Khair, Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Alright, so once again we are going to have a little peek at our summary over here. So we have the plurals, okay, we have the double plural which is called musanna, and then we have more than two plurals which is jama. We have already covered these two, okay. So the suffixes for musanna masculine include ani and aini sounds, alright, and for feminine it's tani and taini sounds. If you haven't yet watched these, I would really encourage you to go back to lessons 8B and C and just give it a watch, alright? Okay, and then we have Jama, which is more than two asma, okay? And in Jama Salim, we learned in lesson 8A that it's actually an intact skeleton of the ism that gets suffixed with a particular combination, okay. So Jama Salim, Salim means intact, alright, so the skeleton remains intact and then the suffix gets added, okay. Today we are going to learn the suffix for masculine Jama Salim, okay, and then in the next one it would be for feminine Jama Salim. So what we're going to do is this. We have the word Muslimun. We know it's singular rafa nasab and jar forms, which is Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. Then we did its musanna form, which was Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. We also did its musanna form in the mu'arraf bil lam status. So al-muslimu, al-muslima, al-muslimi singular, al-muslimani, al-muslimaini, al-muslimaini in mu'arraf bil lam musanna configuration. Alright, so that is it. Now what do we need? We need to know how to make more than two plural, or rather the Jama Salim. Okay, so we are now going to switch to the term Jama Salim. How do we make Jama Salim for the word Muslimun? The suffix for this is una and then ina. Alright, once again, the suffix for nasab and jar forms is the same, alright, and for rafa form it's different. So muslimun becomes muslimuna in rafa and muslimina in nasab and jar forms, okay. How it happens, this is what we are going to cover in this lesson, inshallah. So let's look at the first step. It says replace the last root letter's harakat with, if it is rafa, you replace it with a pesh, and if it is nasab or jar, you replace it with a kasra. So far we have been replacing the harakat of the last root letters with a fatha, alright. So this is a new instance, okay. So if it's rafa, we add pesh, and if it is nasab or jar, we add a kasra, okay. So if it is salihun, okay, it is rafa, so it becomes salihu. This is the first step. Simply change the harakat, okay. Salihun becomes salihu, and if it is salihan or salihin, you make it salihi, alright. And the reason behind that is the suffix for Jama Salim is una and ina. Alright, so if you did not, or if you do not replace this last letter with a pesh or with a zir as shown here, it would be difficult for you to say salihuna or salihina. Alright, so that's the reason, in order to provide a smooth speech you need to replace these harakat, because obviously it would not be easy for you to say saliha ina. All right, it doesn't really make any sense. All right, so that's the reason you have to make some changes to the harakat of these letters, and this is something that you're going to observe frequently in Arabic. Okay, so what do? First step, the last root letters harakat gets replaced either with a pesh if it is rafa, or with a zair or kasra if it is nasab or jar form. Okay, and then in the next step we simply add the suffix, which is una for rafa and ina for nasab or jar. Okay, so salihun becomes salihuna for rafa and salihina for nasab or jar. Now this is something that we are very much familiar with. We come across it all the time during a recitation. Okay, so this should be very easy to understand, inshallah. Let's proceed with some examples so that we can grasp it even further. So we have the word muslimun, which becomes muslimuna. How does it become muslimuna? First of all, you replace this last root letters harakat with a pesh, alright, and then you add the suffix of una. Alright, this is what has happened here, so it becomes muslimuna. Then in musliman, the harakat of this last root letter gets replaced with a kasra. Okay, and then you add the suffix and it becomes muslimina, and same thing happens here. The in sound, alright, the min sound rather, becomes me, and then ina is your suffix. Okay, so I hope this is easy. So muslimun, musliman, muslimin, singular, and then muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, jama salim. Next, the word mu'minun. Mu'minun, mu'minan, mu'minin, it becomes mu'minuna, mu'minina, mu'minina. Now I hope you understand by now what has happened here. The last root letters harakat gets replaced with a pesh in rafa, and then the una suffix is added. Similarly, this gets replaced here with kasra, and then the ina is added, and same thing happens here. Alright, so mu'minun, mu'minan, mu'minin, mu'minuna, mu'minina, mu'minina. Okay, now we're going to get a bit fast and stop verbalizing all these things. Mu'allimun, a male teacher. So mu'allimun, mu'alliman, mu'allimin, it becomes mu'allimuna, mu'allimina, mu'allimina. Okay, and I hope you now know that why has these things happened. Okay, why has this thing happened? Okay, so mu'allimuna becomes mu'allimuna because this thing gets this thing. Okay, so mun becomes mu, and then una is added. Alright, so we have stopped verbalizing these things now. Then the next word is mursalun, the one who is sent. Okay, so a male or a masculine that has been sent. Mursalun, its nasab form in singular is mursalan, and then jar is mursalin. For its jama salim, simply add una, which becomes mursaluna for rafa. Mursalan becomes mursalina, alright, for nasab, and again mursalina for jar. Okay, mursaluna, mursalina, mursalina. Next, we have the word mubashirun, the one who gives good news. So mubashirun, okay, mubashirun, mubashiran, mubashirin, mubashiruna, mubashirina, mubashirina. This is for Rafa, Una, and these two are for Nasab or Jar, mubashirina. Okay, it's fairly easy. So if you just try and practice these suffixes, inshallah, you'll see a very good command on these things, inshallah. Okay, and final example is a word that gets mu'arraf bil lam. So al-muslimu becomes al-muslimuna, al-muslima becomes al-muslimina, and al-muslimi becomes al-muslimina. We have elaborated these Mu'arraf bil lam asma in the previous two lessons as well, where we said that no significant change occurs when you make an ism Mu'arraf bil lam and you add this suffix or any suffix. Okay, so al-muslimuna, uh, it doesn't demand any harkat to change or anything. Okay, so muslimuna becomes al muslimuna, muslimina becomes al muslimina, and once again al muslimina in the jar form becomes al muslimina in the mu'arraf bil lam form. Okay, so for just for the sake of a revision, let's study this word mubashirun. If I were to make its feminine form, what would I do? I would simply replace this tanween with a fatha, and then I would add a taya marbuta. Okay, we have covered this conversion in lesson 7. Okay, so in case you haven't watched it, I would encourage you to go and watch that so that you are at par. All right, now so we have mubashiratun. Okay, so we have mubashirun. In order to make it feminine, we simply replace its tanween with fatha, and then we add the round ta, mubashiratun. Okay, and then if I try and make the musanna form of mubashiratun, what would I do? I would replace this ta with a regular ta. Okay, so let me try mubashir first. Mubashir, mubashira. Alright, so now this ta, round ta, gets replaced with regular ta and then our suffix of ani. So mubashiratani. Two females that give or who give good news. So mubashiratani is this. We covered this musanna form in our lesson 8c. Okay, so if you need to watch that, in case you haven't watched it, I would rather encourage you to go back and watch that video so that you can understand what I'm talking about here. Okay, so these were our examples. I hope these are all clear to you. Okay, all these and the steps are clear to you. These are fairly easy steps really, and quite logical. If I'm sure you might be thinking all these, right? So well, our lesson has ended, and just as an overview or a review rather, let's just see what I've written here. For masculine asma, if you want the jama salim, okay, for rafa forms you want to add the suffix of una, and for nasab or jar forms you need to add the suffix of ina. All right, and this is something that we are going to learn in the next lesson, inshallah. All right, so till that time guys, keep on practicing the musanna for feminine and masculine, as well as your rafa nasab jar forms, their mu'arraf bil lam forms, and of course what we learned today, which is jama salim for masculine asma. And I'll see you in the next lesson where we'll cover the feminine suffixes for jama salim. Okay, so till that time, keep on practicing, And barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al Hakim. I'll see you in the next lesson inshallah. Allah Hafiz.